We're really excited about our program today. It's going to begin with a presentation of the Bishop Coleman McGehee Jr. Champion Justice Award to lifetime MCHR board member Dorothy Aldridge, who is also a Freedom Rider. I would like to bring up Abiomi to present the award to Dorothy Aldridge.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and happy holidays to all of you. This is, of course, an honor for me to be able to present an award to someone who is not only a friend, but a mentor in regard to the struggle, social justice, struggle for civil rights, against war, against imperialism, against all forms of exploitation and oppression, and that is, of course, Dorothy Aldridge. She is someone who I have known for many years. She has served as the chair of the Detroit Martin Luther King Planning Committee since 2005 or 2006 for many years, and she's been an inspiration for our committee, and also giving us the necessary legitimacy that we need as a committee. Someone who has the history that she does, going back to her youth with the NAACP Youth Council. She was, of course, one of the leading activists in the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee, the Northern Student Movement, which was big here in the city of Detroit, and of course, many other activities. She was a voting delegate to the 6th Pan-African Congress in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania in 1974. And the list goes on. I like to do a lot of primary source historical research, and her name comes up quite frequently. In fact, I was just telling her about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was looking at some archived editions of the Fifth Estate newspaper from 1965, 1966. Great stuff in terms of people who are interested in social and cultural history here in Detroit. And Frank Joyce's name was there as one of the editors of the paper. And I saw Dorothy's name associated with a photographic exhibit that was held at Wayne State. I believe it was in January of 1966 on SNCC's work in Mississippi. And they had her name there. It wasn't spelled right, but it was obvious who she was. You know, I said, yeah, you know, I saw your name in, the Fifth Estate. It was a new paper at the time. So she has been active for many decades, and of course has been an inspiration to all of us. And I want to present this Bishop H. Coleman McGehee Jr. Champion of Justice Award. There's a quote here from Bishop Coleman McGehee, who's one of the co-founders of the Michigan Coalition for Human Rights, which was formed in 1980. We're going up on 40 years next year since this organization has been in existence. And of course, 40 years ago, we had a lot of problems with the so-called moral majority, the righteous right wing, and they're still around. They're in the White House now, and there's some effort to get rid of them. You may have heard about it. But just this quote, it says, "Human rights have become the most universally accepted moral standard in the world today across the ideological spectrum, from the far left to the far right. There is agreement that one unifying set of principles among nations in the enhancement of human rights," unquote. And it says, "We thank Dorothy Aldridge for her fierce dedication to the civil rights movement, for her unswavering support of the Michigan Coalition for Human Rights as a board member, and for inspiring youth activists by leading the Freedom Tour." And this is, of course, dated today, Sunday, December 8th, 2019. Let's have a warm appreciation for Mrs. Dorothy Aldridge.
Thank you, Abiomi, my friend and comrade. I'm really touched today because I'm touched, I'm humbled. Bishop McGehee served as an inspiration to me, Bishop and Mrs. McGehee. And I'm hoping that Carrie tells her mom that we still think of her and that we're still inspired to do work by the example that she and the bishop set for us. I want to say thanks to my MCHR family. I want to say thanks to and I have a lot of good friends in the audience. I'm a lucky person in that regard. And it's good to see so many good friends, old friends. The Freedom Tour, and I'm going to say thanks to MCHR, because there's not many groups that will take a bunch of teenagers across the country. And it takes a certain kind of bravery, and a certain kind of courage. But we are, as Chantel already said, this year I am, and I'm hoping that everyone else is very excited, because we're going to be going and spending some time in new places we haven't been, in Appalachia. And the committee decided to have as their theme the environment and voter suppression. Voter suppression is still an issue in this country. It's just ridiculous. John Lewis just this past week, signed a renewal of the Voting Rights Act. Now, why do we have to do that? It should be the law of the land that all the citizens have the right to vote.
Yeah.
Mrs. Liuzzo in Detroit sacrificed her life so that we can have voting rights. The 1965 Voting Rights Act was passed after she made her sacrifice, and we always go and pay homage to her in Alabama, in Lowndes County, and in Detroit. And I don't know if you all heard, but just last week, the high sheriff, as we call it in Alabama, ain't that right?
That's right.
Gloria. The high sheriff was killed in Lowndes County. A young whippersnapper, that I was calling a young person, allegedly high on meth or whatever, killed him, and he was one of those persons that served as an inspiration to Lowndes County. Anyway, we want to say thanks to all of you who continue to struggle, continue to be inspired, as I said before, by Dr. McGee's example. And so what happens when you get recognition? You just have to do more work, isn't that right? So, I pledge to use whatever resources and ideas left to continue the struggle. The struggle does continue. And those of us who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. Thank you very much.